don't believe in what you do, your people will never believe in what you're asking them to do. Okay, so when I first started in the world of business, out of education, so I went to school in Nashville in Tennessee, and I got a degree in education. Then I went to graduate school at Michigan State, and really got into this whole idea of performance. How do people perform? Not just acquire knowledge, but actually put a skill into practice. So I actually studied stage fright. Okay, according to the statistics, there's only a few things you would rather do or rather not do than to come up here and do what I'm doing. And it's go to the dentist and go through a divorce. I think those are the top 3 things we don't want to do. I don't want to speak in public. I don't want to go to the dentist. I don't. So why is it that it's difficult for people to perform? Think about your own employees and think about yourself. What are some of the blocks to performance? We're going to talk about performance-based pay, so we got to get the performance part handled. Why don't people perform? Poor mindset. Okay, Wes? Okay, not clear on what they're supposed to do, or they don't know what's expected. Okay, fear of failure, or feel unappreciated. Yeah, lack of motivation. They don't feel invested in. Maybe they don't feel like they're very important. What else? Lack of knowledge. They don't know what to do. Okay, those are good ones. But none of those are the ones. A couple of them kind of hint at the issue about performance. Let's just play a little scenario for a second with all of us. Let's imagine, like I was flying out from Denver last night, we're all on a plane. This is about how many people were on my plane last night. Okay, and the plane can't land at the airport. It has to land in, I don't know, some remote area. We're all sitting on the plane. And they're pulling that usual stunt of you can't get off the plane. Okay. Well, let's just say something terrible happened. The plane catches on fire. And all of a sudden, we all decide we have to get off this plane. Is there any of us that are going to exhibit laziness? Is there any of us that are not going to be motivated, clear about what we're supposed to do? Think all the stuff you guys just said. Is that going to happen at all? Now, technically, maybe. Some guys get their iPod on and they're all, in some other zone. But if anybody knows what's going to happen, then we're all going to make our best effort to see the outcome that we want to see, which is not staying on that plane. I actually believe that we don't have such a thing as discipline problems with employees. In fact, I don't think you guys have discipline problems. I don't believe in discipline problems. Now, I taught 9th grade logic, so I know about discipline problems. Okay? And I had parents coming up to me, this is when I was in Michigan, saying, my kids have always hated school, but they love your class. In syllogistic logic? What are you doing? Handing out candy? Free Xbox games? Or what are you doing? And I just said in fact, this one parent, I have to tell a story because it applies directly to employees in some ways. So this one parent came to me and says, well, you see, you don't understand, my son has ADD. Now, this is back before that was even an idea, really. And so I said, really, what's ADD? And I wasn't being sarcastic. I didn't know. What's ADD? And they said, it's attention deficit disorder. And I said, okay, and so that's why your son doesn't like school and is misbehaving and all that? Yeah, that's the reason. And so I said, okay, well, what happens when your son goes home? What does he do, like in the afternoons? Well, he gets in front of those darn video games. And I could be banging trash can lids beside his head. That's back when trash can lids were metal, for some of you who don't remember that. There used to be metal trash can lids. And I could bang trash can lids beside him and he wouldn't blink. And I said, okay, now let me get this straight. Your son has a lack of ability to pay attention, and that's why he's not doing it in school. But when he puts a video game controller in his hand, he has such great attention that you can't get him to pay attention to anything else. And she kind of looked at me, and I was not trying to push any buttons or anything. But I said, let's think about that for a second. Isn't it true that people do what they want to do? It's true for you. You do what you want to do. One thing that you're going to have to do in order for these 4 sessions to be useful to you is to make a commitment inside your mind that you're going to implement some of what you've learned. You're going to have to choose to do that, or this will just be a waste of your time. Okay? You're also going to have to choose to do what we call the suspension of disbelief, because I'm going to say some stuff to you guys, and you're going to go, that's bull. You're going to think that. But I'm going to ask you a question back, like I do with all of the people that I work with. I will work with a facility owner and help them get a lot of what I'm talking about set up and go through this process. And I'll say, do you realize that the number one thing wrong with your business is you. And nobody likes to hear